Hey everybody, Dirty Dan here. Today I've got quite the odd piece to show you guys. This is an ATT, or American Train and Track FT. The American Train and Track Corporation was an importer of HO model trains from the late 60s into the early 70s. This corporation, however, never quite gained the same amount of popularity as other manufacturers at the time. They imported everything from locomotives to rolling stock and even some accessories. Personally, I think ATT deserves an entire video just to itself. So today, let's focus on their version of EMD's FT locomotive. I picked this example up at a local train show, and I even featured it in a previous video. I don't even know, man. It looks something else. It's just a weird looking engine. As you can see, the cosmetics of this thing is really what drew me to it. When we put this thing alongside a much more modern interpretation of the FT, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I don't think this is a very fair comparison though, considering these locomotives are literally decades apart. I think the most notable feature is definitely the nose of the ATT model. It's quite short and stubby, unlike anything I've ever seen before. This locomotive is also quite tall compared to most of my HO pieces. I'm not quite sure if this is done intentionally, or if this was just because of the limitations of manufacturing at the time. Needless to say, this locomotive has quite a unique look to it, which is definitely my favorite part about it. Now, these last few photos were taken after I cleaned this model up, but as you can tell beforehand, this thing was in quite a state. And unsurprisingly, this thing does not function at all. I couldn't get it to move. So let's get this thing torn down, cleaned up, and rebuilt. Under some closer examination, you can see how filthy this thing really is. Everything was going pretty good up until this point, and that's when I realized the front truck was on backwards. No idea how I didn't catch it sooner, but I had to take the entire thing back apart, reconfigure the front truck, and put it all back together again. After all that work though, here she is again, back up in action. One thing that I almost forgot to mention was this locomotive shares a near identical drive to the AHM Sealiners. Another interesting fact is that these locomotives are actually marked ATT underneath the front truck. It's near impossible to see though. I do think it's a shame that these didn't see very high production numbers. At the time, there was very limited representation of the FT in the HO market. I guess the demand just wasn't there for these. Granted, these aren't the best representations that are out there, but I still think for what you get, this would have been a nice model at the time. And that's about all for the ATT FT. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.